Don't lose sight, baby, don't lose sight. Don't lose sight, baby, don't lose sight. Man, Lawrence the Band is super underrated. Rockin'.
What up, cuz?
What up, cuz?
Oh, just doing that thing, man. Driving home.
Feel that. Happy Monday.
Monday. Not bad for a Monday.
Nah. Today flew by for me, too.
Yeah, it's all right. It got shit done. It was a good day. It's beautiful out, so.
Yeah, it is very nice right here. I gotta say, 75, upper 70s, something like that. Cloud cover, so it's not, burning me up when I'm outside. Yeah, it's pretty damn comfy. Yeah. Oh, happy belated Father's Day, cuz.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Whatever. We're not gonna melt. Not the Wicked Witch here. You know what I mean? It just sucks. Going outside, and I could just go back into the office and be like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah, it's days like today that I remember. Oh, my AC compressor don't work in my car.
Well, yeah, that's easy to swap out.
Yeah, it's just one of the, I've known for like 3 years because I stopped having air conditioning like 4 years ago.
The compressor's not kicking on?
No.
Or is it?
No, it doesn't.
Or is it the clutch is just not engaging on it?
Either way, I push the button, no difference. And it's like I've gone outside and had somebody else push the button for me, and it doesn't like kick anything on. So whatever, is what it is. Like if I cared enough, I would bring it to a fucking shop, but instead I just roll the windows down and sweat like a beast.
Right. I grew up with 62 AC, man. 60 miles an hour, 2 windows down.
Yeah, right? I do remember that one time your dad picked you up and there was an actual, regular-ass air conditioner sticking out the back of his...
Yeah, dude, he was big on that shit. I remember he had this Toyota back in the day, this Celica. This thing was pretty nasty, right? But because he had, the best of the best at the time, he had the Sony, CD player on the dash, back when that was a thing, and blah, blah, blah. Somebody smashed out his back windshield and stole his fucking Sony. He lost his mind. But after that, he just made a plywood back window and stuffed an actual fucking AC unit in there. It was like, fuck it. Same with this 78 Ford that I had. He gave me back in high school. 78 F-250. And he rigged up a little oscillating fan to the pillar. And then he had a small little AC unit in the back window. I'm like, this fucking guy. But I'll tell you what, man, I was the only kid rolling around with AC in a 78 at the time.
Yeah, right, aftermarket air conditioning.
That shit was cold, son.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, getting by is the nature of the business we're in.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, just put a bigger alternator in. It'll be fine.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, shit.
Shit, yeah. So, man, how was your or lack thereof Fathering Day?
Let's see, we're 3 minutes in. He'll never listen this far. Dude, I totally fucking forgot. Legitimately, it was 8:20 last night, and I was like, holy fuck, I totally forgot. My buddy come over yesterday, too, and, he's like, yeah, I'm going to a Father's Day barbecue, doing the whole thing. So, I was aware that yesterday was Father's Day. I totally just blanked on giving him a fucking call, so I texted him at, 8:20 last night.
Excellent. No, it's perfect. I knew that it was Father's Day, obviously, because, I had to do Father's Day shit. And I just got carried away with the day, and I was going to go over to my dad's, and I didn't. And then I also didn't call. But that's okay. Me and my old man have that relationship where it's like he also didn't say Happy Father's Day to me either. And we don't need to do that. You know what I mean? I'll go over, we'll, smoke a joint, fucking chill, and it's no harm, no foul. Who gives a fuck? But at the same time, it's like, it is the proper thing to do, the common courtesy.
Yeah,
hey, Dad, Happy Father's Day. Especially, for those of us who have our fathers in the pictures, you know what I'm talking about. And it's like, well, you should, say what up to them. But again, we talk to our dads, pretty regularly anyway.
Yeah.
so like I feel like, you know, just reaching out on Father's Day is just too fucking cliche, because I'm gonna come over, we're gonna hang out, you know, and I'm gonna go over there tonight and make up for it. But still, it's like, it's a Monday, you know what I mean? I would have gone over there if it wasn't the day after Father's Day.
Yeah.
So because.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny enough. I was thinking about religion. I live across from a church, so, you know, I'm pretty interested in theology in general. And one of the things, you know...
Yeah, well, all right, so you should be awfully into religion.
Well, right. Well, so I've thought about this more than a few times, right? If God is all-powerful and all-knowing, why do I have to go to a special building to close my eyes and think about him real hard? Like, it should be just as impactful. Like, if anything, it should show more if I think about God and my relationship with the Almighty. While I'm doing dishes or something. Like, that's a show that I'm thinking about, you know, that part of my life, versus, hey, I go Sunday morning and that's all I got to do and God loves me because of it. It's like,
you know, so like the brick and mortar bullshit, like, I mean, how else are you supposed to commercialize it? You know, you got to give people a place to go, so they don't lose sight of the faith that they're supposed to have all the fucking time. Because wherever two people gather and speak the Lord's name, the Lord is there, right? Now that's supposed to be anywhere. It doesn't matter where it is. As long as two people are present speaking the Lord's name, the Lord is there. So the church doesn't fucking matter, because you know what I mean? That's just a brick and mortar place to go put some money in a fucking collection bin. You know?
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's the tithing. That's what they care about. It's that 10% of your earnings that we care about.
Correct. You know, and well, I mean, not all correct, but honestly, a lot correct. You know what I mean? Like, it's why the Catholic Church has so much goddamn money and they don't pay any fucking taxes.
I gotta say,
do you think they would ever change anything about that? Oh man.
Right.
All this money we're bringing in.
They own a country. Like, they have a whole country. Like, that, it's not a big one. It's not large, but they have the Vatican City, which is a whole fucking country. So, like, they're doing pretty well. This group across the street here, though, it's a Christian church. And honestly, it's one of the better churches I've ever been around, because it's really community driven. And when I say that, I mean, like, they have movie nights, like, once a month. They do, like, activities in the parking lot and shit. They do, like, trunk or treat and shit. So, like, they're hip to it, because they're celebrating Halloween and, like, having a place for this rural-ass community to gather together. So I'll give them, you know, more credit than St. Joe's, whatever the fuck they're doing.
Oh, yeah, straight facts, absolutely. Because they're not doing any of that crap. You know, all they're bitching about is how they don't have money, because they're, well, maybe that'll change now. But, you know, St. Joe's was bitching about not having any funding because they got their financing shut off because the fucking diocese had to pay off all these fucking sexual allegations, right?
And so they're definitely just allegations. It's 100% definitely not proven.
Correct. You know, it's like, so they finally just reached the fucking deal, millions and millions and millions of dollars that they have to pay off. So maybe the funding will start to, you know, roll back in. But as of right now, church has nothing because they're paying off fucking pedophiles.
People need to forget that the priests were abusing mentally retarded children.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once that blows over, you know, people are going to focus on Trump for another couple of years, and they'll be like, church, I don't think the Catholics ever did anything too bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they weren't that bad. I mean, did you see what Trump did?
Yeah, right?
You know?
Yeah, those priests never grab anybody by the pussy, just by the penis.
I mean, they never even said it, you know, so how it can't possibly be that bad.
He's like, and I mean, honestly, the priest was sucking off the kid, so, like, you know, that's the second worst. It could be, you know, what if it was the other way? That would be way worse. See? These guys
there's two sides to this road here.
Yeah, right, and make sure to leave your comments below if you want to get in on this conversation.
Yeah, let us know if you want to hear more shit like this.
Yeah, like and subscribe for more.
I don't nobody's really commenting what they want to hear, so we just start throwing random shit out. I don't know.
No, I think that honestly, this is great for us. Like, just the outlet, you know what I mean? It's just like a real conversation back and forth between two, you know, cousins, longtime friends. So it's just that part of, like, humanism, an exposure of a real conversation between two friends in like a modern world with modern problems.
Yeah, which we got something for that too,
Yeah, I was just smoking the fix to my modern problems.
Taking a rip of my modern problems right now.
My fix-it stick. It's
yeah.
Gonna take a little puff off the fix-it stick.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, right.
It's great.
Nah, things been going good. Work's work. It's busy. My team leads at a conference this whole week, so I had to present a meeting today, answer a whole bunch of questions, and fun stuff. Work stuff is what it is.
Work stuff. Yeah, Kevin came back from, he went on a little fucking 30, I don't know, 30-year anniversary or whatever. He went over to Italy with his wife. And so he just came back on Friday, and he finally came out of his hole today, which was funny. Of course, he comes out, his hair's all fucked up, and I'm like, dude, you look like shit. He's like, yeah, thanks, I feel like shit. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. So glad you came in. But that's been fun. He was had to hold up his end of the bargain for the last couple of weeks. So that's whatever, Easy shit. A little more on the plate than we hoped for this time. You see, right now in the snow and ice division, municipal equipment, it's slow. Obviously there's no snow, and budgets come to the end. July 1st they renew their money. Shit. So people are broke right now. It's not the snow and ice season, and snow and ice is what I work in primarily. And, so it's usually right now is that time where it's like, fucking hey, I get to catch up on my YouTube videos. And so it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been like, oh man, I actually have to get some shit done. Of course, he comes back and he's like, all right, fucking, well, I'm like, nope, here's a folder. It's full of shit that you're gonna want to know about and things that you have to do with you and blah blah blah. I'm like, any questions, give me a call. I'll come on down, whatever. It's about everything that you need to know about the last 2 weeks is in this folder. And he's like, all right, cool. And he disappeared back upstairs for the rest of the day. I was like, good, not bad.
Yeah. Oh man. So I asked my boss like 2 months ago at this point, honestly, maybe even longer. I was like, hey, how long can I be on vacation for? She's like, yeah, however long you have time for. And I was like, a month? She's like, oh, let me get back to you. This is ways back. And she's been sending me like updates every like week or two along the way. She's like, reached out to HR, nothing yet. And she's like, how long are you seriously thinking? Like 3 weeks? And I was like, yeah, 3-4 weeks. Like as much time as I have, I will use as much as I can for my, upcoming trip, And she's like, oh, okay. So she keeps reaching out. She got back to me again today. She's like, yeah, this is the third time I've reached out to HR on this subject, and if they don't get back to me, I'm just going to have to like go up the ladder.
I mean,
but how it says in our union contract is we can have up to 2 weeks of vacation or supervisor approval for more. It's like, that's just, like, wait, I want to know if I'm actually going to get paid for a month overseas. Like, otherwise, hey, 2 weeks, I can work 2 weeks. Like, that's fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have the time in the bank, then when they approve it, they have to pay you for it. You know what I mean? But it'd be fucking curious if they say, you can be gone for 2 weeks, and shit, I'm putting in for the following 2 weeks right after.
Yeah,
if you
right.
don't approve it, I'm still going.
Well, so like last time I had gone, it was 18 work days, so that was 3 and change, almost 4 weeks. And, different boss, different, structure at that point. But even that was, like, difficult to get him to be able to approve. And he tried to renege on it, too. That was fucking bullshit. My supervisor at the time, the coordinator, not quite my supervisor, but like the guy I answered to, but not my real boss. He was like, yo, you keep every single email, like keep everything when you're asking for this time off, because it's gonna be a problem. Fucking right, bro. Like a week before I was getting on the plane to go to Vietnam, he was like, you don't have this time off, you can't take this much, we can't get someone to cover it. And I was like, here's 12 emails of you saying this is fine over the last like year, so you can fuck right off with that noise.
Yeah, you know, that's when they realize that they didn't fill those spots or have a plan, and now it's time. They're like, oh fuck, and they try to pull some shit like that. You absolutely have to shove it in their face. And that's I'm a big advocate. Everything goes into a paper trail. Like, listen, whatever correspondence you want to have, that's fine. I don't care. But let's end this phone call and email me.
Yeah,
everything.
Right. Put the shit in writing.
It's all. I want it all in the fucking email. Or you've got a bunch of people that deal with it. I obviously have my cell phone number. I have a company cell phone, so I don't give a shit. But it's like you can text it to me, you can email it to me, but we're not going to just talk about it over the phone. Yeah. We're going to make this document official. Everything. It doesn't matter. Whether it's time off or a fucking sales contract or a preseason order or fucking a chassis shipment. It doesn't matter. Let's throw that shit in email so I can print it out and put all my notes on.
Right. Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. It's like, I want to be able to print this shit out, throw it in my organizer, and whatever notes I have on this, I want to be able to write them down. And I want to be able to write it down on the document that pertains to what I'm talking about. I don't want to create my own. You just send me the email and there's our document right there, done. Like, it's just so much easier that way. And when you got a lot of fucking shit going on,
Ugh, yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah. I've had. So the person that was helping us for the testing portion of our project here, we had a super user come through and help us out, and the conversations I'd have with her were just so high level that it was like, I need you to send me like instructions, like I need you to like send me an email or like send me a chat message of some of these like talking points, because it was just so much so fast. It's like I am not smart enough to remember all this shit, so do me a solid, would you?
I gotta be able to come back to this.
Yeah.
100%. It has nothing to do with intelligence either, but you can't be expected to plant all that permanently in your brain.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if it's something new, you know what I mean? Like, you've never done this procedure, this process before. Like, there's a procedure and a process for everything. And there's usually, I say usually, I know because I've made these myself, but there should be step-by-step manual available in that. And of course, it's different right now, you know what I mean? Because you guys are creating a new way of doing things, so there's going to be a new manual.
Yeah, it's literally called help topics. Like it's like when you're on Internet Explorer or something, and you can just like click a little question mark, and it tells you more about like the fields you're using or whatever. Like, we've got that built in for what's up for production, but we're literally designing it for this leg as we're going along. So yeah, it's definitely just like fumble along, click a bunch of shit until stuff works. Or it doesn't. That's fine too.
And that's where, like, when we went live years ago on a new operating system, and I spent, this really pissed me off. I had the most shit going on, the biggest inventory, the most turnaround, everything. My location was nonstop. So we're all fucking sitting in this conference room up in Maine, and we're talking, they're going over all this stuff, how this is going to be different, how this needs to be different, what do we need to do here, how's this got to get changed, how is this going to talk to this, blah, 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 and how are we going to make, at one point we got to, all right, well, we want this system to work best for us, so we want the system to do all the ordering, aside from special, requests, shit like that, custom build, whatever have you, but it's like, everything else that we need to have the system do for us. So that meant that I went through, it was like 8,800 different numbers, right? These are part numbers, serial numbers, shit like that. So you're talking anywhere from, it could be 3 digits to, I think the longest one I counted was 38 digits long.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, ridiculous, right? So I had to go through 8,800 different numbers, and I had to set quarterly for mins and maxes for all of these numbers. I had to touch all of these numbers 8 times. And he was like, yeah, all right. So I guess after we leave the conference today, I'm going to go back to my hotel, and I'm going to keep going at this, because there's no way in fucking hell this is going to get done in the time that we've been allotted.
Oh, yeah.
I got it done.
Yeah. I mean, that's unfortunately the nature sometimes of, like, business, like the type of work that we do.
It is what it is, but that's what happens when you're in the position into sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, well, hey, it's overtime time. Yeah, I have to work until this is done. Yeah.
It is what it is, It's not like they're not paying me to do it, so I might as well just do it.
Right. That's actually something that kind of sucks about the position I got now. They don't pay me time and a half for overtime. It's just straight fucking hours now. Which, I mean, whatever. I make very decent money. And I'm getting a raise in a couple of weeks and then a raise in a couple of months. So I'm certainly not complaining about the pay. It's just whenever I would do overtime before, I would get time and a half for time off. So it was like really worth it.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's whatever.
I was crunching the numbers earlier. I was, looking at, okay, because we get our cost of living increase July 1st. It's fiscal year. So 3%. Cool. Not fucking mad about 3%. I mean, that's a good thing about having a higher number. When you do a percent, it means more.
The percentage is always more.
Yeah, yeah. And then October, I have... It's called a step. It's like part of the incentivization program that we have internally is if you're here for a year, you get a raise. You're here for a year, you get a raise. Because they reset all of that when I got this new position, I get raises again. So, yay! So like, you can't be unhappy about making thousands of dollars more every year. So.
Well, you can be, but it would be.
That would be like a fucking Bob complaint. God damn it!
I
make so much now. I'm in a different tax bracket. Bah, bah, bah. Fuck out of here.
Hey man, I feel that tax bracket bullshit, but there's ways around that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Have you ever heard of cash? Have you ever heard of cash, Bob?
Yeah, like you could just change a couple of things. Well, and that's the fucked up part. It's like, whatever. I don't know his exact situation. I don't really care. It's not even going to affect me.
I love that. Yeah, and I don't really care.
I don't, because it's like, I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, it's like, from what I've heard, there's a couple of big changes that I could make.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, based on our
flip-flop quite a bit. Actually.
Yeah, move your expenditures around.
The current situation.
Yeah.
And until then, you know what I mean? Like but hey, man, again, Bob's gonna do what Bob wants to do.
That's exactly. That's a great thing. Like, even when I talk to my dad about like how he spends his money, how he like operates his life, dude, motherfucker, like double down on Oreos and insulin shots. That's not how this works. Like, you can't. So, hey, man, you do you. It's your body. Just like with women, I think it's their choice. This is his fucking choice too. So, like, do what you want with your money. Do what you want with your body. But like, hey, man, if it were me, luckily, it's not. That's one of the things, like, I've learned in that saying. If it were me, well, it's fucking not, Pat.
Well, it's not. So
yeah. Well, then, if I were in his situation, I would probably do his things. If I were doing, if I was raised the way he was, if I had done the things he has for years, if I had the same opportunities and responsibilities in life, I would do probably the same thing he is, which is what I think about for every human being, right? Like, if I was in Jen's shoes, would I have done what Jen did? Probably. Like, if I was...
I think there's at least one thing that you wouldn't do. But
John, yeah. I
don't think you would. I don't think you would be wasting, a mortgage and more on delivery. I don't think you would be doing that.
No. But then again, like, The amount of money I spent on like weed and booze has definitely been a negative impact on my fucking finances. I mean, like 100%. And we talk about like, oh man, when I was in high school, if I had bought Bitcoin,
I don't know, I
if
would
I
say
done this
like,
or that.
you're getting something out of that. You're really not. I mean, it is no better than food, but
there are moments I feel enlightened or empowered. I feel as though I'm a higher consciousness. Yeah, but also like, motherfucker, if I put away all that, like, I started working like on the books at like 16, 17. I was working at Walmart. If I had put that fucking money into an account and just like let it crew up, you know, in index funds from 20 fucking years ago, Jesus Christ, literally 20 years. If you're smart investing for 20 years worth of work, you can just retire at the end. I could be retired now if I was smarter then. And it's like, Yasprit saying, motherfucker, he's right. The only person who will take care of old you is a young you. Well, right now I'm younger than, you know, old Pat, so.
It's like I was talking to my stepfather yesterday, and you know, I've got this whole VA thing going on, and that'll work out hopefully soon, and in my favor. It seems to be everything's going to be good.
It's the VA. It's not going to be soon, Rich.
Well, it's yes and no VA. You know what I mean? This is it's disability crap, but it's just not going to be what it could have been, because you know, it is again the military, so kind of got shafted a little bit, is what it is. But also, you know, I got shafted for 18 years now, and the only real reason I've been getting shafted for 18 years now is, yes, them, but since then, it's been me. I've allowed myself to get shafted, you know what I mean? Without you know, paying any attention at all to what was going on, just kind of letting everything slide, not even thinking about it, literally not even a thought about it.
Yeah.
And come to find out, well, that's just me. That's me. Younger me would have made some better choices. And then on the same token, it's like I also would have retired last year.
Right.
So
that's
on top of
one of my boys from high school. He went right into the Air Force right out of high school, you know, 18.1. And fucking A, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, it's like, wow, I made, I should have stayed in and could have been retired. And then on top of that, I let them fuck me on disability in the meantime. So it's like, wow, dude.
You know, 2020.
No, dude, 2020 or better every fucking time. Yeah, every fucking time.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's also one of the good things. Like, honestly, recording aside, one of the things I've always loved about our relationship is how candid and open we are. You know, a lot of times people feel ashamed of some of the choices they've made. I know I'm certainly ashamed of some of the choices I've made, but you're easily my closest confidant. So being able to share that with somebody, you know, commiserating over my shared pain, because you're empathetic. You feel that, like, oh man, you made a bad choice there, Pat. I feel bad for you. And it's not in a condescending or pitiful way. It is, if I were there, I would feel bad about that because we're close. But you can also look at it from an objective standpoint, where sometimes I'm too close to my own fuck-ups, where you can see them a lot easier than I can. It's like, hey, Pat, you know why you got so fat? It's because you drink, smoke, and eat too fucking much. But I'm drunk and I'm high when I'm doing it, so it's, you know, it's just more difficult for me.
That outside looking in perspective is huge, but in that, on the same token, you have to be able to accept constructive criticism. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have trouble with that second part. You know, they're always, what do you think? You know, and then they ask you, oh, what do you think? And then you tell them what you think, and they go, it's like,
how could you say that shit to me? Yeah. All they see is the criticism and not the constructive part that preluded it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like, well, you got to be able to, if you want to know the answer, you got to be able to listen to the answer and understand that it's like, well, you may not think this, but the view that I have suggests otherwise. And you put blinders on when you're doing some shit. Other people don't put blinders on when you're doing shit.
Well, yeah, and, you know, emotions influence a lot of choices. I mean, everything that occurred with... Honestly, in retrospect, my relationship with Mai was an interesting and fine time. Catherine, there's a better example. Like, in retrospect, yeah, duh, that was not a great fucking relationship by any means. Like, I had some glasses on, red ones, because I was missing all the flags. So, like, luckily, talking to you from the outside, even Caitlin, shit, man, shout out to the missus. At one point, she was like, you know she wants your babies, right?
Yeah, well, that's because she straight up told her, was like, oh, I'm gonna get knocked up by him.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
He should be part of that.
Like, I got a thing for that idea. You know, you can call it a fetish, what you want. I love that thought, but I do not want fucking kids. And I am so glad that Caitlin said that to me, because it's like, she knew me well enough, knows me well enough to be like, Pat would, one, not be a good parent. Two, he doesn't want to even try. I should tell him that she's got this idea going on.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and because, you know, it would be not good. She was definitely, and I heard her, you know, say a couple of things where it's like, fuck, dude, Pat, better get the fuck out of there quick.
Yeah. I mean, there were definitely a lot of things, a lot of wonderful things about her, and also a lot of bad things too. Same with everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. It depends on who you talk to and what day.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to seriously shit talk people too much. I mean, you know, when it gets down to brass tacks, I talk some shit, whatever. But for you know, I've over the last 10 years really tried hard not to like hold grudges too much. One of the things is, I honestly believe that if I were in that exact person's situation, like if I was raised by their parents, if I went to that school, if that bully said those things to me, if I looked like that, if I had gone through those things, I would probably be that person making those decisions.
Right.
So,
you know, it's hard to say like why people do the things they do, but it's like if you haven't gone through their experiences, then you couldn't ever know.
Why do I fuck up in the very weird and particular ways I do? Daddy wasn't there. My mommy wasn't there either. Like, it was Will and Jen and fucking MTV raising me. Like, I make the weird individual decisions I do because of the weird individual life I've had. Same with every fucking creep, weirdo, and beautiful person I meet. Like, the reason Taylor Swift is the way she is because of the decisions she made and the impacts other people had on her life. And if I were there, fuck, man, I might have been that person too.
Maybe. Although we'll never know.
No, of course not. Not until, you know, we die, we get rebooted, put back in the program as another NPC.
Absolutely.
There's a video. Matt Damon was in a movie called The Martian. It was wrote by Andy Weir. He also wrote a short story called The Egg. It's easily one of the most impactful pieces of fiction and also oddly philosophy that I've ever read. It is probably one of the few things that I really hope to be true, is that we just get reborn over and over and over into other people. Like, when you die, you might wake up in 12th century China and be a peasant woman who is a rice farmer. And then when she dies, you are Genghis Khan. And when that person dies, you just get reincarnated over and over. Like, we are every person everywhere ever. We're
all
just
the time.
The same soul in different bodies at different time. Like, I think it's a beautiful thought, and honestly it has made me feel closer to humanity, like just in general, people. Like, I can understand more why people make mistakes. I can understand a bit more why people do the beautiful things they do. And in a weird way, it's been beautiful. Like, just across the board, it has softened some hate and it has intensified some love.
Yeah, right, exactly. It has a positive and negative effect, but it's a new outlook.
Also, the medications I've been on, fucking really big. The last, honestly, like, week has been huge. Like, my nose, I can breathe through my nose holes.
Nice.
So I don't know, maybe it's just oxygen going to my brain or whatever, but man, last couple of days I've just been in like a beautiful mood.
Nothing wrong with that, my dude.
No, definitely not.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I hope everybody who likes and subscribes also shares themselves a beautiful mood.
Agreed. And on that note, let's talk about it later, cuz.
Heck yeah. Faux show. Love you bunches.
Love you, dude. Late.
Peace.